morning, good morning. Oh, I can flip the camera. There we go. So, good morning from Aberdeen. We're in Duthie Park, which is just on the outskirts of Aberdeen. Just come from the overnight ferry, which is sort of over there. But I thought this is a rather more scenic view, and it gives me a chance to have a tree fix. We don't get many of these in Orkney. Big things that got green bits on the end. Brilliant. Anyway, Twizy is about to go on another epic journey south to Fully Charged Live. Gonna miss this thing. James of James and Kate on YouTube will be driving this. I think they're going to leave Sunday, Monday down to Silverstone for Fully Charged Live. So this is my last chance really to have a little bit of a spin round in Twizy. I'm going to see Chris in a bit. I don't want to wake him up too early because the boat got in at 7. So I'm going to see Chris about 9 o'clock when I'm going to do a periscope. Am I allowed to say periscope on YouTube? But good evening from New Zealand. Oh my word, hello New Zealand. Morning JP, good morning Tim. I'm going to miss this thing, Tim. It's but what a beautiful morning up here. These trees. Trees. But what a beautiful day here in sunny Aberdeen. Is it sunny in Tame, Tim? It's beautiful here. So, yeah, this is Twizy. It's going south. It's going to be doing about, I think it's 540 miles, 580 miles. For James, he obviously can't take this down the motorway. It's sunny in Tame. That's good to hear. So this will be taking sort of minor roads and basically a longer route to get down to Northampton. Hopefully for next Thursday afternoon at the latest, when James will be arriving with this, along with Chris Ramsey, who's riding an electrically assisted push bike, an e-bike, from Aberdeen all the way down to Silverstone, and there's going to be a bit of a challenge between the two of them to see who gets there soonest. It's going to be really interesting to watch. I, on the other hand, am fortunate enough to be doing Chris Ramsey a favour. It's sunny in Yorkshire too. Excellent. You going to the show? Yes, I am going to the show. In fact, we're exhibiting Twizy in Hall 2. We were at Fully Charged last year and we're going to be there this year. So come and meet us in Hall 2. We're next to a stand that's called the Reflex on Orkney stand, which is a brilliant new project that's happening on Orkney in regards to renewables. So EMEC or Aquaterra will be there. On the Saturday, I'm being interviewed by Johnny Smith, all about electric vehicles and used values, etc., and what the market's doing. So a little bit of an inside info into the motor trade and electric vehicles and my perspective. So I've been selling just purely electric vehicles since 2012. So fair to say my knowledge about EVs and the market is it takes up most of my working day. So I shall be revealing all at Fully Charged on Saturday afternoon. I think it's 2 till past when I'm on with some other panellists, a representative from Drive Electric and Matt Cheveley of Cheveley Motors, who services and also sells EVs. So there'll be 3 of us on the panel talking about electric vehicles and used values. I've gone slightly off subject. So yeah, they're going to be racing together to see who gets down to Silverstone the soonest. Now, it's become quite an interesting race because my arm is now aching. Because Twizy can drive around, I can now see my hand, it's really bad camera work, isn't it? Twizy can drive around 45 to 50 miles if I'm driving it. With James driving it, probably 35. No, James is very good at driving gently when he needs to. But apparently James has got a secret power box plug-in dongle from Chris Wright, who has a Twizy in Derbyshire, and James had to go in his Twizy, and he's borrowed the plug-in dongle to upgrade the power and adjust the regen. So it'll be interesting to see whether James has the, I think apparently this can do 70 miles an hour instead of the standard 52. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Gordon McLennan. I'm just up the road. Oh, hello. So whether James will go for economy or for power, I think he'll go for power. But he'll be able to drive, let's say 50 miles, and then he's got to stop for 3 hours to charge this just off a 3-pin plug, because you can't use any public chargers, so it won't fast charge or rapid charge. Chris, on the other hand, is riding an e-bike. Chris currently holds the record for the longest distance travelled in 12 hours. He did it around the circuit, and he holds the Guinness World Book of Records, which is brilliant for Chris. So I'll be seeing Chris in about an hour. So Chris can obviously ride not at 40 miles an hour or 50, but probably, I don't know, 15, 20 miles an hour. So he's going to be slower, but he charges up much faster. Charges up in around about an hour on his e-bike. But of course, if he runs out of charge, he can just keep pedalling. So who is going to get down to Silverstone first? It's going to be an interesting one to see. Yeah, just up the road. So yeah, it's going to be good. But whilst this is down in at Silverstone, this is going to go up for sale. It's not with my number plate. I'm going to retain Eco 3 Eco. But if you go back to his original 12 plate, and this little car, it's not lost any value. I've had it 4 years. Great little car, just gone straight through its MOT, 2 new tyres, had all the brakes overhauled, because basically the brakes on Twizy tend to rust up through lack of use, through regen braking. So it's had new brakes all round. The tracking dunks, the tracking was slightly out. That's it really. Everything works fine on it, so it's working really, really well. Tracking an M3, admiring. And I've got a thumbs up from the M3. That's cool. That's a lot of people like Twizy. It does that. It raises a smile. But yeah, he was out polishing his car in the car park when I pulled up. Stopped to give him the thumbs up. Maybe it's the Lamborghini style doors. I don't know. Anyway, would you like to have a look inside Twizy? So came down from Orkney. There's my suitcase. There's sort of my overnight bag on the back seat. So not an awful lot to go on, but it is a real hoot to drive. I had all the it's had new discs and hubs at the back, and I've also got them to take all this back and just paint it because there's surface rust on the suspension parts. So we've done that and tidied it up at the front again, just because of Orkney. There was some corrosion here, so I had it all taken back and painted. Just really smartened it up. So let me give you, we're on private road. Let me give you a taste of what Twizy's like. Foot on the brake, turn, get the key in and hold, and get a beep. And there we go, so we're in neutral, so you press D for drive. The handbrake is a really weird affair. With your foot on the brake, you pull it up very slightly and push the button in and press away. It takes the handbrake off. And even with my door up, and we're on private property, so no screaming or doing anything illegal. We're just driving Twizy. Not great. And of course, when it's a really nice sunny day, we take the windows out. These are retrofit windows, which are better than the original Renault ones. So we've fitted some large wing nuts. So there's 3 each side. So you undo these, and then the windows slide out, and you can store the windows and drive around with the windows out, which is great fun. I might do that. I might take them off whilst I'm buzzing around Aberdeen. There we go, and brake on. Turn it off. Now, 33 miles guesstimated. That will improve. It was 33 miles when I left, and it's used a little bit of battery, so that will go up. It's because it's just been stood for a long time. Oh, we also fitted a new auxiliary battery as well. The auxiliary battery starts the Twizy, and it's behind here. It was the original 2012, so it would have been built in 2011. So an 8-year-old lead acid battery to start it. Needed replacing, so I just replaced it. If asked where do you put the windows, Fee asked where you put the windows, not if. You're calling Fee if. The windows, they go in the back when you haven't got suitcases in the back, or just leave them at home. So yeah. And how do we charge a Twizy? Back at the front, there we go. That's what you need, is a 3-pin plug. Now there are some people on the net who have developed Type 2 charging, so there's like a cover here with the Type 2 Menicase connection. Now whether they've upgraded the onboard charger, I don't know, but just imagine if you could rapid charge this or fast charge it, and imagine we have some Tesla pack in that, some Tesla cells to up the range and the performance. That would just be awesome. Still got a battery lease on these, which is a bit annoying. So this is for sale at £4,500, a 2012 Twizy, 9,000 miles. Had a lot of fun in it, but you have to pay £45 a month battery lease to RCI, and that covers you for recovery as well, but also if the battery should drop below 75% capacity, they will replace the battery or replace the offending cell. But I've yet to hear of a Twizy that needs a new battery pack, to be honest. So anyway, there we go. Some nice tyres all round. I think the tyres on the front, they had a job finding the original size, so they're slightly wider than standard. But to be honest, I think it fills the wheel arches really nicely. So yeah, Twizy's ready to go. Not much more I can say about a Twizy. Cracking little car. Can't wait to see how James gets on. James and Chris driving down to Silverstone. So if no one's got any more questions, I'm going to sign off because I'm running out of things to say. Come and see us at Fully Charged Live. Come over and see us. Tim of Tim's Travels will be there. Tim's got an excellent YouTube channel, so come say hello to us there. James and Kate, Chris Ramsey, Plugged In Adventures. He's the chap who went to Mongolia in a Nissan Leaf, as you do. Lots of other YouTubers. I think Nico Ramos, if I remember your name right, Nico, he's going to be doing a live YouTube question and answer session at some part of the proceedings. So the Plug Seek will be there, Colin. So lots of YouTubers there. It'd be really good if you come over and say hello. I'm going to sign off, and I might do another broadcast later on this morning with Chris Ramsey, because apparently his e-bike is at his house. So what a perfect photo opportunity to have the e-bike and Twizy together and perhaps do a Q&A. That would be good. We'll do that. If Chris has got time, let's come back here. It's just a nice scenery, nice backdrop, and do a bit of a go get a coffee from the Duthie Car Park Cafe. Where's the Duthie Car Park Cafe then? I've not been here before. I've driven past here times to catch the Aberdeen boats. Usually I'm late. But where's the cafe? Answers on a postcard, please. I can see a right across from the grass. What do you mean up there? I can see a slide. There's some tents over there. Well, I ought to walk around really, hadn't I? Well, I might even drive round, see if I can find the Duthie Cafe. Okay, thank you, Gordon. So is it up there? Right, about 400 yards. Well, if it's 400 yards, I have to take the Twizy. Right, do an Annika Rice style treasure hunt. Listen, I'm not wearing a jumpsuit for anybody. Right, I'm going to sign off, and we'll try and do another YouTube live.